Ho, 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 and a Merry Christmas to all the boys and girls at Philly Sports Network. Santa's got a very special gift for you today. Let me just get it out of my sack. Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of This Week in Philadelphia Sports, where, as you might have guessed it, we go over everything that's happened this week in Philadelphia sports. Again, if you are new around this channel, guys, it would be amazing if you could hit that subscribe button. One, because this really hurts. Like, this is clipped round my ears, it's sweaty, but the things I go through for you, alright, I love you a lot. And B, we would love for you to join the Philly Sports Network community. We have a Discord server, we've got daily Eagles content, and of course, the best fan base on the planet. Before we get started though, a massive Merry Christmas from everyone here at Philly Sports Network. I'll get to the super soppy stuff later, but you guys have been absolutely amazing all year round, and I hope that Santa, me, also delivers everything you could ever want this year, and you have a wholesome, happy holidays with those closest to you. Santa's already started giving gifts this year because the Eagles cruised to a 17-9 win over the Dallas Cowboys at home, meaning that next week against the Giants, it is now win and in. The playoff hopes are alive. I cannot get over just how impressive last night's win was. And a lot of people wrote the Eagles off. They started out as 2.5-point underdogs, but they went into that matchup, gave it 100%, and I think we learned so much about this team. I mean, let's just start with Carson Wentz, okay? All we've heard all year long is Carson Wentz has done this, Carson Wentz has done that. Carson Wentz tried to make Alshon Jeffrey a meal, but spilt wine over his MacBook, and now he's upset, and that's why they fell out. Carson Wentz is a bad leader. Carson Wentz is selfish. Carson Wentz doesn't put the seat down after he's been to the toilet. But finally, he stuck it to every single naysayer last night. Now, I genuinely believe that last week's performance was one of his better ones, and he was now coming off of 2 fourth-quarter comeback victories, 2 game-winning drives where he'd proven he's clutch, and he'd rallied this young offense around him where there was this new energy. And I think we saw the culmination of a month's worth of cooking, the recipe over here, in the oven, and it come out perfectly. Peterson uses his oven mitts, pulls it out the oven, and what we got was an offense just bred for success. After weeks of complaining about no screens, there were loads of them. They relied on their best playmakers on the field. They had Dallas Goedert and Miles Sanders carrying the way, but more than anything, Wentz protected the ball despite one play where he fumbled it, which was just a hell of a play by the defender, which was just a hell of a play by Robert Quinn. Carson Wentz clung onto that ball for dear life. He protected it, didn't turn it over, hasn't thrown a pick in multiple weeks now, and just made great decisions with it. It was surgical. He ripped that defense apart. He ripped that defense apart with the intent of taking what they would give him. We saw him roll out, we saw him sprint out, we saw him run and take it himself, we saw him lead receivers like Greg Ward Jr. into position to make a play, and overall, Carson Wentz had one of the best games I've seen him have this year. Through the month of December, Wentz has now completed 68.2% of passes, which is a little bit, it's almost 69, alright? It's almost 69. If there's one thing Santa loves, it's giving. But 9 touchdowns, 1 interception, and a passer rating of 109.87. The man has been an absolute machine so far this month. And don't get me wrong, the Giants will be no easy task. They played with a lot of heart last week against the Redskins. But finally, the national media, the likes of Max Kellerman, anyone that was still on the Foles train, can all be silenced, can shut up, and they can start talking about Dak Prescott and the amount of money he's going to get paid this offseason, because he looked terrible. Now, he may have been injured, but doesn't matter, he still looked terrible, alright? And for Philly fans, it was good to see. The man who stood out to me was running back Miles Sanders, and he has been a grand surprise to me. Probably the biggest surprise since I got a bike for my 9th Christmas, and I rode it straight into the tree down the bottom of the garden and hurt my back. But that is not the point. Miles Sanders has been exponentially brilliant over the last few weeks. Now, I've been critical of Sanders at times. I think that's justified about his patience and vision and some of the struggles that he's had. But overall, we're seeing a different Miles Sanders. Someone performing in an offense where they're trying to get him outside and into open space. They're not forcing him to go out the middle. And a lot of people were worried that when Jordan Howard went down, this offense would take a step back. They don't have that bell cow to keep driving forward. Well, they've got it in Sanders, who's now seen a bump in rushing attempts every single game for the last 3. He had 20 last game, 79 rushing yards, 77 receiving yards, and a touchdown for good merit. What a guy. And before we move on and talk about Sidney Jones, Dallas Goedert. Dallas beat Dallas, and I'm here for it. What a day at the office it was for Mr. Goedert. You cannot complain at that. whatsoever. Zach Ertz went down with a rib injury. Dallas Goedert goes, hold my beer, I'm going to step up and steal the show, and that is exactly what he does. You couldn't ask for a better outing from Dallas Goedert, and Wentz finally able to make use of a dynamic playmaker, someone that caught his 5th touchdown of the year, all of them through his career inside the red zone. That didn't change on Sunday. Defensively, Ezekiel Elliott held to nothing. The Eagles were previously 0-5 against Ezekiel Elliott, but no more, because Jim Schwartz dialed up one hell of a game plan to snuff him out of the woodwork, to get him out of the way and focus on the pass. That is exactly what they did. It was a great game plan. I think the defensive line played brilliantly in terms of stopping the run. They couldn't get as much pressure as they'd have liked. Josh Sweat and Vinny Curry combined with Fletcher Cox. I promise it's not as filthy as it sounds, but the play absolutely was. And as for the cornerbacks, Sidney Jones get a statue outside the link. What a performance. He comes in for the 2nd time in about 3 weeks, makes a game-defining play, a huge pass breakup on a ball intended for Michael Gallup in the end zone. Out of nowhere, the Sidney Jones experiment isn't over yet. The 2 best plays by an Eagles cornerback this season have came from Sidney Jones. And while we're talking Eagles cornerbacks, ladies and gentlemen, I think I rumbled on something last night. As I stroke my beard and ponder this, I tweeted a video, a TikTok if you will, taking the mickey out of Orlando Scandrick after his comments about the Philadelphia Eagles this week. And well, an account named Lee decided to reply, and I was a bit puzzled by this. So I went on his profile and noticed that he only had 13 tweets, and all of them replying to criticism about Orlando Scandrick. So I googled Mr. Scandrick, and it turns out his middle name is Lee, and the numbers were where he was drafted, the round he was drafted, and the year he was drafted. Have we just rumbled an Orlando Scandrick burner account? I hope so. On a serious note though, what a present for Eagles fans right in front of Christmas to get out there and absolutely ruin the Dallas Cowboys. For Peterson to finally get a victory against this team, to do it in such emphatic fashion, and to more importantly keep this team galvanised. The youth movement, the amount of young, hungry underdog players that have galvanised this offense and really lit a fire in the belly and gone out to prove a point, it's been outstanding. And I think that's the sort of energy that will carry this team as far as they'll go into the playoffs. I think there is absolutely a chance of them making some noise. I don't want to be that guy, but if they do get Deshaun Jackson back by week 2 of the playoffs, we could be looking at some noise. You know what else will make some noise? Philly Sports Network merchandise. The Christmas jumper officially came today, like one day before Christmas Eve, so can't really advertise it now, but I just wanted to show it off, to be honest, because it looks good, and it says PSN season on it. I'm like Superman, but really bad. Like, Philadelphia Flyers are 20-11. They ride a 3-win streak coming into their next matchup, a game which takes place tonight, and our writer Eric Reese will be attending as a member of the media. AVR hit 2 goals in their most recent win over Ottawa, and did you know the Flyers are 12-4 at home, with Carter Hart being 9-1-2? Interesting. The Flyers seem to be rolling despite all the injuries to forwards, and that can only mean good things for Vigneault's rookie campaign. Sixers are 21-10, they're 5th but basically 2nd in the Eastern Conference, and they did get clarted by Miami and then thwarted by the Mavericks, but they won when it counted. They slapped the Washington Wizards, and they now go into a game tonight where they would love to come away with an extra win. Nothing. And the Philadelphia Union have signed Jose Martinez, a 25-year-old center defensive midfielder from the Venezuelan league. He had 2 goals and 4 assists in 65 league appearances over the last 2 years, and he could be a player that's just going to strengthen the heart of that midfield a little bit more. Now you may be thinking, LJ, you've rushed through those final teams, but hey, I need time to give you guys a soppy speech, because while there is an end-of-year soppy speech, this is the last This Week in Philadelphia Sports before Christmas, so it's only fair that I say, hey, thank you so much for all the support you give this channel, guys. It really does mean the absolute world to me. Without you, there is no Philly Sports Network. And I said this last night, but if someone at the start of 2019 had said, Liam, by the end of the year, you'll have your own office, a green screen, and you'll be sat dressed as Santa talking about the Eagles, I'd have probably called them a bit crazy. I don't know what's really happened here, but genuinely it is the most amazing feeling. I'm so grateful for this community, guys. Everything we do is for you, and we promise you that 2020 we're going to bring some exciting things to the table. We want to keep grinding out content, we want to keep bringing you the very best that we've got, and we're so happy to call you our family. Like, you guys mean everything to us. The support you give, the ways you watch our content, the interactions we have on social media, and of course the Discord server. Thank you so much for making 2019 the biggest year in Philly Sports Network history. I've been doing this 5 years now, since I was a baby 19-year-old LJ, and you guys have helped me grow so much as a person this year. Again, I'll save all the big soppy stuff for next week, but I did just want to say thank you. I hope you all have a fantastic Christmas from myself, Liam Jenkins, or LJ, or Santa. You can follow me on Twitter at Liam Jenkins PSN. I love you all dearly. I'll see you soon.